Hey guys, Adam Fenig here, Fenig Equipment. You're tuned into the Talking Shed. Today, we're going to hone in on the Yetter Devastator bearing, when to change them, how to change them, and to give you guys a couple different options when you're replacing them mid-season. Of course, these bearings are never going to go bad when it's sitting in the shed. It's always going to happen whenever you're going through the field and getting some maximum acres per day covered, and you hear something and you need to replace a bearing. Those bearings and those Devastators are under a tremendous load. They've got the weight of that head pushing down on the ground. They're rolling several revolutions a minute and per day, and these bearings, like all bearings, will eventually fail. And so I tell guys a few things. You can buy this bearing in a couple ways. You can buy just the bearing itself, or you can buy the bearing with the housing. Of course, buying it with the housing is probably the fastest and easiest way to replace it in season. Not only that, but over time, this housing, and we'll talk about it here in a second, will wear out. But what you would do if you go to replace this bearing is, you can see here, you've got those collars, those open collars on each side. You would just pop this bearing out and you would just turn it and it would slide right out of this cast housing. Now, in the past, the design was to put anti-seize around this housing so that the bearing does not lock up inside of the housing. Now, today, they have got a new advancement, and it is that grease zerk. This is not a greasable bearing, but what you're greasing is this outside housing. So today, if you have a Devastator bearing go out, I encourage you to go this route so that you then have the updated cast housing, but then in the future, you would just need this bearing itself. Now, I tell guys, if you're starting to get some bearings go bad, maybe one goes out on one roller, one goes out over here, just change them all at that point. You're going to start to having to stop every couple days to get them changed. Just do it. Go through them all. They're real easy. You just take these bolts out, drop that entire roller down, and then put the roller back on and lift that roller back up with the bearings out here on the edges and put your bolts in. It's not a hard job, but we do urge you to keep some of these on the shelf because, of course, it is always an in-season fix. So we do have both options in stock here at Fenig Equipment, whether you want just the bearing or the bearing with the housing and the new grease zerk. So give us a call today if you're out there running the Yetter Devastators, and we can get you fixed up with the new housing or just the bearing to keep you and your Devastator rolling. Thanks for tuning in.